like to welcome everyone to the Wednesday, January 12th, 2022, 5:30 p.m. board meeting. The mission of the Wilton Community School District is to provide an education that encourages continual progress and the improvement of one's abilities, expansion of one's interests and knowledge, and the growth of one's character. Call to order, roll call, please, Joy.
Jim Barrett.
Here.
Linda Duncan.
Here.
Jeremy Lee.
Here.
Rob Metzger. Tara Owen. Here.
All right, thank you, Joy. Agenda approval, any additions, changes, or corrections, Mr. Burnett?
None that I have, Joy or Angela's, or anything that you see on here that needs to be looked at at all? Okay.
Got an entertain a motion for adjourn?
Wow, did you get that, Joy?
No.
Did you get all the notes?
Shortest meeting I've ever done.
I'll make that motion. Second.
All right, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. All right, we'll do the minutes approval. We've got the December 8th, 2021 instructions for 11 hearing, December 8th, 2021 district calendar for school year 22-23 hearing, the December 8th, 21 regular meeting, and the December 8th, 2021 reorganizational meeting.
So we just do one motion
Yep.
for all of them as.
That's why I read them all
That's
together.
Good.
I move to approve the minutes.
Second?
There you
All those in
go. That's what I'm
favor?
trying to get all.
All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. All right, we have no public forum. We jump right to business financial functions.
Ooh, that was fast.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
looking at it.
Okay, upload number 6 is taxation fund financials. There's two things I would like to bring to your attention. Under the general fund, under actual year to date, the IS, their instructional support income surtax, we've received that. And that is from January of 21 to October of 21. So that's that $75,486. So we received that. And then the other big change that you will notice is under Fund 33, Townsend donation for our revenue bond 2020. They wrote us out a check, and so there's $350,000 sitting there for that. Okay?
Great.
Very blessed.
We are very
I-
blessed,
I-
yes. Thank you, thank you,
I'm
thank
always
you.
just amazed.
Yes, me too. Cool.
Okay? So those are the only two big changes there. And then download number 7, ISP monthly report. The only thing I would like to tell you there is our E-rate check came through for $30,651.64. So that was for the wireless project, so that went right back in as a credit for technologies expenditures. Self-insurance financials, there was no change there. Latchkey financials, upload 9, there was no change there. And then I will just point out upload number 11, that's the quarterly latchkey comparison report. So you don't get that every meeting. But if you compare the October, November, December, nothing really jumps out. Pretty steady.
That's good, we like
Okay?
that. Yeah.
All right. And just to mix it up a little bit, I know I don't say much about the nutrition fund, but it is doing just fine. We're actually up 26,000 from last month, so thought I'd just throw that in there since we don't talk about nutrition fund too much. And then I believe upload 14. Only thing I want to mention here, everything's pretty much the same except for FFA. which we always know that's a back and forth thing. So we were in the hole, $1,450. And I do want to point out that in their last fundraiser, I had Joy figure that today, we have over $500 of extra things that were ordered. So I know Sue's gonna kind of take care of that and try to sell that. A lot of meat sticks of different varieties, so we have all this extra. So we were gonna try to get rid of that so that that number will change a little bit, because we shouldn't have an extra $500 worth of product.
Right, because it was just ordered? Nobody knows why.
Nobody, yeah. So, just want to bring that to your attention.
Thank you.
Okay, and then the next upload is the activities driving report. And I'm just gonna say, which this will be no surprise to you, that it's an increase. We've got all the winter sports activities going on. And then we did have a bus breakdown on the way to Mid Prairie. So that was a little bit of extra expense and what have you for our activities driving report.
Joy, you mentioned about the towing bill and Angela, about
I
insurance.
saw the towing bill.
Yeah.
But the insurance?
Yes, because when it initially happened, obviously they couldn't drive it back to Wilton to get it fixed, so they were gonna have to tow. Well, Brock called me and he said, hey, do we have any type of insurance for towing? I said,
Oh.
I don't think so, but I got a hold of Nancy, and that has changed in the last few years, that yes, there's $500 allowed for towing, so,
Good.
So that phone call saved us $500.
yeah.
Yay.
So,
The six bill was $650. So we got 500 of that.
that's
Great.
Yeah. Okay, and then the last one for me is upload 17, the bills. And nothing really jumps out other than just a couple things that I will bring to your attention. If you go to page 8, I will just point out that we had our third allocation to the swimming pool, so that's $15,000. And then the other thing, this has been ongoing for some time, since before school started under Fund 33 on that same page 8 with Ace Electric, all the watt stopper light controls, that got finished up over break. So that is now finally complete. That has been hanging out there for some time. But it's kind of a messy job, so they finished it up over break. So that bill is now in there. Okay. Any questions over any of those?
Angela. All right.
Okay.
Anybody have any other questions?
Motion to pay the bills.
Thank you.
Right.
Those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Angela. All right, who do we have next? I think we have Mrs. Austin.
We are gearing up for preschool and kindergarten registration
Oh
next year.
my word!
Thank you.
First, yeah.
That's crazy.
So we try to get the word out best we can. We'll send it home with current students in JMC, and we post flyers around town and put it in the Advocate, put it on our social media. Try to drum up the business that is out there. And then our new kindergarten day will be Friday, March 19th. We always do that. We try to do that the Friday prior to spring break, because the current kindergartners that don't go to school, the preschoolers, shop to meet all the kindergarten teachers that day. It's a big day. Our fast screening will begin next week. Our struggle, it's the same way everywhere, but with our teacher absences and student absences, it will really be interesting to see what's reflected in these winter scores, because last couple weeks have really been, just soldiering on, but boy, we change people, and it's a puzzle daily. So we'll see how that works out for us. Our PD day, we are looking forward to that on Monday. John Shu, who is kind of famous he used to work at Scholastic in the elementary book circles. He's a real high energy guy, so it's gonna be a lot of fun to have him here. And then we'll start our book study, as you can see in the middle page. We do that in the middle of the day. And then we finish up again with John Shu, and then we end the day with Matt. So we always look forward to those days. And then our Edgenuity kids, 3 of the 6 that are currently on Edgenuity plan to be back on the 18th. And then the other 3 are pursuing homeschool options. And then that will finish that program out for us at the elementary. And then this is just, the last one's just a follow-up. Mrs. Caffrey's crew raised $1,900 in their coins for,
Wow.
children's yeah,
Denise,
they got the cutest little video sent back as a thank you. So it was good. Very good.
Denise, I actually made a mistake. It was $1,935,
Oh.
I think.
There you go. Had 35 more.
Joy took all the coins to the bank, by the way.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
well,
gosh.
it took 2
Every
people to lift
day.
some of the buckets.
The average was $300 a day for the whole week. I mean,
That's
for each
cool,
day.
though.
One day was over
Yeah.
500.
Grady's in Miss McCollum's class, and he was determined they were gonna win, and he said, Mom, can I take some money? And so I thought he went out of our coin bank. I went to Aldi, I had no quarters in my wallet. He's like, he just looked at me, you said I could take. I'm here, he's one quarter.
They won. Mrs. Jones knows it.
Yes.
Well, there you go.
Recess, that was what was on the line.
Oh.
Goodwill recess.
Wow, that's funny.
Any questions for me?
Just how many teachers are out right
Well, we had 2 back today, so now we just currently have 2 out.
now? Okay,
Good.
We had a bereavement leave.
okay.
Oh, yes.
So that,
Yep.
but 2 that are out
Okay.
here extended time. And 11 kids right now in the elementary that we know of. And then quite a few more that are under some sort of quarantine or, you know.
We just don't have as many subs, that's a big issue too, we don't have as many people that go into it, so it's, we don't have a lot necessarily due to COVID, so to speak, but, if you have a bereavement leave and you have, maybe someone's got a sick child, and the point, just regular,
Yeah, we had 12 spots today.
say she had 12, that's a lot.
Is there any, I keep hearing talk about changing like the qualifications for a substitute. Are we looking into any of that? Is that something done by the district or is that done by
By the
the state?
And they did, what
State
did they
Board of
do?
Educational Examiners, basically, now you need just an associate's degree, or a 2-year degree,
Right.
to become a licensed substitute teacher.
Just if you could make it easy, not easier, that's not the word I want to use, but I mean,
User friendly.
yes, it would be, there might be a lot of opportunity out there for people that.
Well, we gotta think outside the box, we have those conversations a lot with the legislatures as well,
Yeah.
trying to find ways to.
Do we do background checks for subs?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. I assumed we did.
We do background checks for everyone, whether they're volunteer, a sub, anybody that's in coach to volunteers, everyone.
You
Excuse me?
did one?
I know.
Or presidents.
We're pretty lenient there.
Hey. I know why you said that.
True.
But we do really appreciate our subs. They are.
Yes.
I mean,
They are.
Oh,
No,
I
that's
can't
not a question.
imagine being a
That's
sub.
not-
We have 2 new ones that started this week for us.
Bless their hearts too.
Yeah,
It's quite a deal. Yep, I know.
that's great.
it's an adventure.
My wife was talking about doing double duty
She did all week, I
all
think
week,
she
yeah.
said.
She said,
It was to the point today that I forgot that she was a long-term sub, because I was like, where are you going now? It's like, it's here.
Wow.
It's bad, isn't it?
yeah, she did say, she's like, I'm not sure I want to do long-term stuff very often. She's like, I feel the same kids all the time. It was pretty
Your
funny.
mistake, she had parents.
Oh, geez, I got the internal.
So we gave up 2 this week.
There you are.
We're trying.
All right.
I'm trying to.
One is the other.
Yeah, we've just been bouncing everywhere.
All right, so we're done with Mrs. Austin, thank you. Sue?
Okay, so, I did put that we have been also hit at the secondary level. For us, it's also the end of the semester on Friday. So semester testing, I'm sure that kids, there's a little bit of anxiety because 2 teachers have been out all week. One won't
return till next week, and I'm not sure about the other one. Is it, if you ask us, secondary people really, they don't get tested for COVID, just saying, they don't wanna know, basically, but I know they know they're sick. For those situations, I'm pushing back till next Friday, so whatever the kids would have had this week, we're just gonna do next week. So they have an extra week, because I'm not having somebody to show up and test them on Friday, when they haven't had review, and, we're not doing that. And that will just alleviate all the stress. And I know that a lot of kids have like projects due and things, so they need the instructor there for that feedback, so we'll just push it back there. We've had, I think we've been averaging around, I don't know, today was a little bit different, we were at 7 out yesterday. I think we had a little bit more like 9 out today, but there were just also appointments and some other things that we had to bounce around. So everybody's been chipping in a lot. I've had teachers that haven't had their prep at all this week, but bless them, they're stepping up. So thank goodness. So and student-wise, I couldn't even begin to tell you because kids, a lot of them just don't get tested. But we have a lot of kids out sick. So again, the students who are missing, we're going to be a little bit lenient. And I mean, again, we'll give them an incomplete, but there isn't like an absolute due date coming up for January 31st. Will be the last day unless, something terrible, their appendix out and whatever. But, we want to get it wrapped up. But the teachers are calling me case by case. So I can actually look up and see when the student was absent. Because if they were absent, like when the day we got back from break, and they were absent a couple days and they're still behind, I might not be so lenient there. But, I want it to work within reason. So that's where we're at. We do have an ag instructor coming in February 14th, if you read that. He is a certified ag instructor. He happens, he will stay through the rest of the semester and through the summer as needed, and then we'll go back to their other job in the fall. So that'll give us time to interview and find some quality candidates for our position. So the good news is the person is from Wilton, and they grew up in the program, and they know the farm, and that will help a lot, I think. So
I just want to say, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I wanted to kind of say in front of everyone, I don't know if you realize how much aftermath Sue's been dealing with the ag program, but she ended up having to do grading, she's doing curriculum. I mean, there's just an absolute disaster left, and thankfully, you're
welcome.
Well, I appreciate it.
The kids, I think, are appreciative they're getting their stuff back in their life. But, and to be honest, we've kind of wrestled with, how to fairly grade with what we know. So, I think we'll be generous because
There was
we
a
don't
lot of
know.
instruction.
Yes, there's a lot of disruption.
Even before Gila.
Yeah. Okay.
I appreciate
So
it.
thank you for saying that, because it
Yes.
is true, and we appreciate it. Just like last month, we joked a little bit, but she went down to the weigh-in for the FFA,
Yeah.
Saturday morning, just a lot of above and beyond.
We just would have known, we should have worn coveralls.
Sorry.
He laughed till I got there and went, like, I was like, freezing. I'm learning, but.
Hopefully you don't do that ever again,
Well,
I know.
yeah.
Oh, I do it.
for that reason.
Actually, I'm sending him to the extension office tomorrow to pick up some stuff for us for some other stuff, so I'm putting him to work. At least to help, yeah. And our math group is about halfway through our book study. It's been enlightening, and I think we've had some really good, very deep conversations about curriculum and about how to lessen the anxiety regarding math. And some of the conversations I've been having with students, like at games, just talking and, oh man, and then I point out to them all the time, all the math that they do all the time, every day. And so we've been trying to just feed that to them, like, you're already a mathematician. Like, you sit at a game every night and you're calculating points and you're looking at your, come on guys, you know stats here, like, this is it. So we're slowly trying to have these kinds of conversations, but we're also looking at ways to just reduce that anxiety. Fear of failure is what it is with the kids. And we want to, there's no learning if you don't fail at some point, but you have to also have proper instruction. So I'll probably be making some changes coming up with what we're doing in math, so just heads up on that. Mr. Beckley has been researching a trip for kids to Japan, and we know that's sort of a stretch because of COVID, but there are about 12 kids in the Japanese club. 8 of them are like, for sure would like to do this. Their parents are supportive of it. We did put it out that if any student wanted to go, like not just in the Japanese club, just put it out to anybody if they wanted to go. He hasn't had really any other students come to him, but obviously we have time. It's scheduled right now for June 2023, I believe is what we kind of thought. They had a parent meeting Monday night and parents came and chatted about it. And so I think it's really, I think it would be great and really valuable if they can actually pull it off, because it is expensive. But if they can't, then we kind of have a backup idea of where to go to, like a bigger city where they have a large Japanese culture where our kids could stay there for a week. But I think it's a great idea, and kids are they're very excited about it. So
Cool.
if they want to do it, I'd love for them to do it. And then my last thing was we had 5 teachers and a group from elementary going to a national literacy conference in Denver. And I guess what I'm really excited about, and probably the reason why I really wanted to push our staff to do this, is there's some of the, probably the nation's leaders on writing, on how to teach writing, and not just cursive, because I think they should teach that, I'm old school, but also how to incorporate that more, how to come up with richer products for our kids and teach them how to do it. I think our kids have kind of gotten, like, I don't know, they've just inherently started having an aversion to writing. And we need to change that, because if they want to go on to post-secondary education, they better learn how to write, they better learn how to write really well. So that's a big focus for us. I'm calming down the pie. Mrs. Miller's junior high theater class had they performed a really cute little play Monday night. If you got to see it, if you didn't, trust me, it was cute. And I thought they did a great job. I really liked it. Our winter sports teams have been successful despite of illness and injury. If you look at our girls basketball team, there's we have a few, we have an arm one, we have a leg one, we have but game day last night was, we had a lot of blood last night's game. I don't know if you heard about that. Oh,
Yes.
it was something. The tooth incident, and before that was a big flooding house, but we made it. And Monday we have PD as well. We have Susie from the AIW, the woman that's facilitated our training in authentic intellectual work. It is her last session, and this has been a 3-year commitment, correct? So she'll be here with us most of the day on Monday, and then the last hour of the day we set aside for teachers to finish upgrading and calculating get grades in. So that should be interesting. We're excited for Susie to come because we have our ISAPS data, whatever we call it now, to show her kind of when Wilton first started before, and then how we implemented it, and you definitely can see the growth. So we're kind of excited, and we're going to celebrate that. So
We're halfway done.
One thing for the FFA, I had emailed Mr. Burns and he didn't get back, which is fine. But if you ever want me to come speak to the students on the poultry industry and job opportunities of the poultry industry,
that'd be awesome.
I offer to do that, so.
Okay.
If you ever want me to do incubation and baby chick development stuff, we will give you the aid for all that stuff.
We should use that. We could do that too. Building for animal health and
Yeah,
stuff.
we can do, we will do anything with
Okay.
the poultry industry stuff, so.
As kids get ready for FFA contests, would you be willing to help coach, like, work with kids as we head into that?
I don't know, what do I have to do?
I don't know. Well, okay. Because our first like district competition is, February 21st, and the instructor won't be here till February 14th. So I'm meeting with the FFA, what do you call it, the officers tomorrow night. And we're gonna come up with kind of a plan and then look at who wants to participate in what. And then I'm just gonna reach out and grab people from the community that can help us and coach these guys into what they're doing. And,
If there's anything in poultry judging that can help you with that,
Okay.
past that, I'm not real sure.
I will.
I did that at the
probably-
collegiate level,
Yeah,
so I.
okay, good.
Well, see what their interest is and see
Yeah,
too.
that's what I'm gonna do.
We know enough people in the community that have
And that's-
backgrounds in
yeah,
certain
and
areas.
Jill and I have talked
Yeah.
too a little bit, because I suggested with Mr. Burns before that we need to utilize our community members.
Yes, we
Because
do.
there's so many of them that are willing to do things like that. And I've actually had, and I don't know how this worked before, you would probably know more. They did used to have like an FFA community advisory committee.
We
And
should
so I
have
know they
one.
helped with planning
Yeah.
and
We
all
should
that
have
kind of
one for the
stuff.
ag, that's.
Yes. So
like
I
the
know
state
several-
recommends that.
Several
Yeah.
ag people who'd be interested in doing that.
And honestly, I would really love to start an FFA alumni organization here and have them really, really help and give feedback to us on how to grow this program and what does the industry and business need from our young kids, and let's get them right.
And it's one, like our company would like to give out a scholarship to somebody in this town
Yeah,
that wants to go into the poultry industry.
be awesome.
We don't have a scholarship foundation, so I'm guessing I'm gonna be writing $1,000 check or something. I don't know how that's gonna work, but I was told by the president that you need to start giving scholarships for poultry kids.
Okay.
Whatever.
And then in addition, I would love to, take advantage of that and like have that be part of like the animal health projects, start some of that. We should start it from the beginning. We did that at Cowee. I didn't do it, but we had a science teacher who did it, and it was amazing. I mean, we had, okay, the final though for advanced college biology was they had baby ducks that they got, born, and the duck had to, what do you call that? Had to.
Nurse?
Imprint.
Oh, yeah.
Ducks
So
and
the
ducks.
senior, you had to be able, the duck had to be able to come to the parent down the hallway and go to the correct parent, and that was the final. And you had like a month to work with your baby duck until, yeah.
Actually, I don't remember.
Covered two different things, parenting and
Yeah.
animal health, and yeah, yeah.
What if you just got a slow duck?
Or no, we had
Whatever
ducks.
you say.
You failed the class?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I got this duck.
We'll do interventions.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Yeah, ducky ducky. Dumb duck.
I like ducks.
I get used to all the ducks.
Ducks, they're smart.
There's ducks.
Any other questions for Sue?
We kind of regret. Anyway, all right, thank you, Sue. We will move on now to consent agenda number 1.
All right, you can see our personnel changes there. Mr. Bruns from the ag teaching position at semester, and Kevin Brisker, the junior high wrestling coach. As you can see from his resignation, he's been involved with coaching from 8 years here, in and out. And he's- I wouldn't be surprised to see him coach at some point again in terms of having a contract, but he's always volunteered even in years he's not. So. But anyway, that's where he's at with that. The job descriptions, you can see that we have in front of you. Lana does a good job of going over all of these and shares with me any tweaks, but she meets with, specific people and asks them for their input or whatnot.
And the changes look,
Out of minor.
Right, you know,
Nothing.
it's what we're doing.
Yep,
So, right?
Yep,
it's
we always try to
always-
reflect reality in our job descriptions and our policies.
Cool.
You know, the main thing is, the reason we want to keep these up to date is if, again, someone were to take a new job or whatnot, and we have some job descriptions, like, well, that helps them get jump started. So that's the main reason we have them. But that's all I have on consent agenda number 1.
Motion to approve consent agenda number 1.
All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Opposed? Motion Consent agenda number 2, our favorite policy.
Yeah, tonight, there is nothing to add or tweak or suggest, because these are state policy and code, et cetera, and what we do here. But certainly, I would entertain any questions from you as a group, if you'd like to discuss any of these. You see the code of conduct and the, ethics regulation, et cetera. Yeah.
Mhm.
And we talk about this administratively, how it's important. We work with our staff, and, our employees are role models. And everybody thinks, well, it's just a teacher, no, it's everybody.
Mhm.
Whether it's someone who works in the central office, a custodian, bus driver, et cetera. And we are held to a higher standard, and we have to accept that as part of the responsibility of being in education. And for a lot of us, it's a lifestyle more than it's a lifestyle you choose. So we're trying to be upfront with them about that when they start. That's just the expectation. Particularly in today's world of social media as well. Because how you present yourself on social media also is a reflection of your ability to influence students. So, that's my little soapbox there. But any other questions on the policies?
I move to approve consent agenda number 2.
Second.
All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries. Consent agenda number 3.
Yeah, there's just 2 under there. The first one being our modified supplemental amount of fiscal year 23's at-risk dropout prevention budget. Angela, do you want to go over just what the numbers are? Please.
Yeah, sure. The district cost per pupil there, $7,227. And then we have to enter, we have our certified enrollment, which was 843.3. So then you have the calculation there. So that's how they come up with the supplemental amount. And then on line 7, we have to enter potential dropouts. And that's what I go to Mr. Meyer and Mr. Patterson, and they're the ones that figure that. And then that's where that comes from.
A lot of times you look at the number of kids in the parent, we look at kids with certain grades, we look at our friendly use rates. It's not an exact science. I just want to make sure that, we've got, that money's going toward that programming.
How far is that, like, how close is 19 to real?
Seems like a
How
lot.
close is
How
what?
close is 19 to real, like, historically?
Again, it's subjective.
But do we know every year how many kids dropped out of school? Like, we would know that, right? How
Usually,
many
COVID
do we
years
get?
were a little bit harder
Yeah,
to.
but like in the past, do we have that many kids dropping out?
No, but when they say potential, that means,
Sure.
they're
Identify.
struggling with grades. And we try to, how do I say this, it's kind of it's a physical versus an autopsy.
Yeah.
We'd rather say, hey, you've got the potential, let's get you back on the path.
Yeah.
Versus how many end up.
Yeah, because
It's not happening.
I don't think we have very many, because they may show here, but then we do the credit recovery, and then we do things in the summer, or, retain them for a little while
Fifth year.
longer.
We
Right,
got kids,
so,
seniors,
right,
super seniors.
right, so but we have to have a number, right? There's gotta be something.
So to answer your question, I guess I misheard you in thinking that if you meant, is 19 the actual number of kids? No, you're saying how many actually do drop out?
What do we do lose on
Not
average
very-
per year? 1, 5, 10?
I don't know, because I'm new, but I'm gonna guess, I would say 1 to 2, maybe.
Okay.
trying to make sure they're trying to do everything they can to help these kids, I would say 1, 2, probably.
Our graduation rate historically is between 93 and 95%.
Yeah.
And you have to realize if you only graduate 60 kids, and you
It only takes
want
one or
to,
two.
that is your,
That is, yeah.
or whatnot. So we've been above the state average historically.
Yeah.
But
But your
definitely-
dropout doesn't necessarily mean a senior either, though.
Right,
Because it's
right.
sophomore.
Correct.
You gotta be 16,
Yeah.
that's the legal dropout age. And this number of potential dropouts, that's just not high school, that's our program piece, so. Again, that's a shot in the dark.
Yep. Yep, that's fine.
All right. Any other questions for Angela on that one? All right.
And then letter B, Angela's popular, this is our attorney engagement letter to the GO refunding bonds that we talked about, that she's been working on this fall. And we're just basically dotting our i's and crossing our t's to make sure everything's done correctly with that, to help the district save money. Angela, do you have anything you wanna, I don't know, comment on? It's pretty straightforward there.
Yeah,
I mean, there really isn't a lot.
Yeah.
I don't believe.
they definitely put it in writing.
Yeah, I just didn't know if there was anything you wanted to point out, but are there any questions from the board members specifically about the engagement letter?
It's not like something we haven't done before. Any of the, these things that we do, our bonds and we do these things all the time with all of our projects, so it's not like something, oh no, so it's just, like you said, crossing the Ts, dotting the Is, making sure we have everything how we're supposed to have it, so.
And every opportunity we have to save the district taxpayers money,
Yes.
we are aggressive,
Mhm.
and we should be. Why wouldn't we? So, questions on that? Those are the only two things on consent agenda number 3.
Motion to approve consent agenda number 3.
All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Opposed, motion carries.
Excellent. Informational items, relatively short too, don't have any hirings between now and the last board meeting. I'd like to have a February maintenance committee meeting. I talked to Andy Crawford about that today. We've already been working on a list, but I said, hey, we'll set a date on a work session 2 weeks from tonight and try to get together. But I know Jeremy and Tara are on that. We'll figure out what time works for you. So be thinking about that.
Pool board, Tim, you want to
That's
report
good.
on pool board?
No, yes. It was a good night. There really wasn't much, they were having boiler issues, we're always having boiler issues. But it's fixed and running now. I think that was the biggest thing. It's one thing we really need to start paying attention to is the boiler. So it's gonna, I have this fear that it's just gonna be done. And then we're gonna be like, and we're looking at how many years?
40,
Yes.
oh, well, yeah.
The boiler itself is,
That's original.
It's original.
it's
Well,
original.
there you go.
So it's
So
already-
What kind of ballpark, do we have any idea? We're talking as far
We're
as.
working on that.
We're working on
Getting
ballpark.
a-
We have several people come in, not several, but a group.
And it's not just the boiler, it's all the duct work
Right.
and everything that goes with it.
It's not like you can just replace the boiler and expect all the 20 plus 30-year pipes to continue to work also.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a full thing. And now, there are several different kinds where there's 2 different boilers where one does water and one does air. Well, the problem with that though, because of the size of them, we would have to put an addition on the backside of the pool to accommodate all that. But there are different ones that are a little smaller that may fit in the footprint that is there now. So there's just a lot of looking into we need to do right now. So, but it needs to get rolling now. So
I agree.
Because
Yeah, you're right.
What does the boiler do? Great, you get your hot water for
water
And
for your
the-
washing and then your air.
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah.
And we need guards.
Oh, we need
We're
guards.
we're
Anybody
having issues with
know
guards.
someone that like,
We have 2 from Muscatine,
Yep.
swim club or swim teams
Swim
that are gonna do, but we always,
There
we
you
can
go.
always use more.
Yep.
And yes,
Yeah.
and we got new president and vice president.
We do have a new
secretary.
president.
Yes, by default.
Who from the city is on it now?
Steve Owens and Wayne Buddy.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
So, we did all that
It's a good
and
group.
had the transition, and we're at the same place, same time, and everything, and
You all are welcome to come.
yes.
But yeah, so
So,
that's
yeah,
the biggest
it's-
thing.
it's-
All right,
yeah.
well, keep on that, I don't disagree at all.
Where we
I
know it.
believe that
we're-
Poole and Joy would know this, being the historian, it's 1979.
I think that was 78 or 79 was his first.
I think the plaque says 79, I could be wrong.
I remember being a little kid with my feet sitting on the edge when they cut the ribbon that we did All-Star School. So I can't remember how
I
long.
remember that.
I was young.
Yeah.
No, I had.
Hey,
Behind us, Joy.
I wasn't around, I was born.
I want to say either
I
my
thought it was-
sophomore or junior year is the first year we had swimming over there. And that would have been 80, 81.
I always thought it was.
I think the boilerplate says 79, but I just,
It
that's
could-
what I
it-
think.
It could, yeah.
My point with that is it's 40-some years old.
40
that
years,
boiler.
that's
So
42,
that's, it's
43.
definitely,
Dennis,
it's, we've gotten a lot out of it, now it's just overtime.
And we patched
with
it
the-
and
With the
did-
improvements that we're doing,
digged
it's
around
like, we
and-
need to bring it to the next, I mean, it's awesome.
Oh,
It's
here it is.
awesome.
1980
1980,
is where the plaque says,
Joy said 80, she was right.
because my father's on that.
I take it back.
Board of
Did you say-
Education.
What one?
I said I was born.
Oh, you were
You
born.
were born then, all right.
All right.
All right, so with
That's all I
that,
have, our work session's 2 weeks from tonight at 5. We'll also be setting up our interest rate problem solving, you know, in February. Already, our insurance rate, did you see this,
Oh.
Angela? Came in at 0% for next year.
Really?
Wow. I saw that today, now, so
Wow.
and they listed everything up.
January 4th.
how often does that happen? Not very often.
Pretty good. So that's a positive. It's definitely a positive.
It's just a number.
That week,
My
we
40th
learned
birthday,
about
I
that,
bought
so we
myself
started
a new
having,
book.
so we
Well, there you
did,
go.
so.
Oh, I know, you ran it, I this one, but I ran
All right, well, I'm gonna get the camera.
All right.
Motion to adjourn.
Yes, I need a entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion to adjourn.
It's my baby.
Tim and Jeremy second, Joy. All right, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
We need to.
Opposed? Thank you, everyone.